Today we are joined by Malik Shujat Ali Khan as a cricket commentator and analyst. Malik Shujat brings unmatched passion and precision to his coverage. Known for his keen eye on match dynamics, deep understanding of team strategies, and insightful observations, he is someone who follows Pakistan cricket with relentless focus. Now, we'll ask Malik Saab, Malik Shujat, Malsa, thank you very much to coming this show. And my question is, what are the key moments, are the turning points, are the tactical observations you have during this match series, and for the especially for the today's one ODI, second ODI.
Hey, thank you, Mr. Habib. I think, Mr. Habib, first of all, we have to understand the background of this series, that when this series started and how Pakistan team come into this series. If we just went into the near past, then we see the champion trophy was held in Pakistan, and I think Pakistan not only they were knocked out, they lost the matches, but in fact, I thought they were humiliated at that time as well. Because almost after 29 years, an ICC event was happening in Pakistan, and performance was not below par. I think was very, very well below par, and everybody was very, very disappointing. And definitely, the chairman of the Pakistan Cricket Board also felt that heat, and then everybody sat together and they decided, okay, now let's decide our future. As we all know, the T20 World Cup is going to be held the next year. So now we know almost ICC event comes once in every year, either to talk about the Champions Trophy, the T20 World Cup, then the 50-over World Cup. So now we know that ICC Champion Trophy was played in that format of the 50 over, and now the focus turns from 50 over game to the 20 T20, because the next year in January, February, we have the T20 World Cup coming up. So now Pakistan have to visit the New Zealand for the five T20s and the three ODIs. So Pakistan decided why not to send their young team. So before we talk about this one, let's have a quick view on the Pakistan squad for the T20 international. Pakistan, the main two superstars we talk about, Babar Azam and Mohammad Rizwan. They were both out of this T20 side, and everybody thought it may be the end of their careers. Maybe Pakistan has decided to in the T20 they will go with the youngsters. So Pakistan changed altogether their team, and they rely on the youngsters. In fact, instead of relying on their experienced players. So Pakistan got a very young team, and to be honest, the performance of the Pakistan youngsters was very well below par. Now everybody was really complaining about Pakistan at the start, that Pakistan plays so defensive games by these old players, Rizwan and Babar Azam. So why not let's bring the young blood in and they will play an aggressive cricket. This is what, so they changed the captain. Salman Ali Agha became the next captain, and on every press conference, he just keep on ensuring the fans that we can ensure you of one thing. I can't guarantee about the results, but one thing is for sure: we will play an aggressive cricket and our brand of cricket will change. We will not be playing in defensive cricket anymore. So people were happy. The first one day, first T20 coming, and now let's move into the first T20 international. I thought it was a totally disaster as far as the first T20 international is concerned. Pakistan, they won the toss, they batted first, and they were bundled out for 91. And then New Zealand just scored the 92 in the allotted almost in the 8 overs. They were got the allotted 20 overs, but they completely scored in 8 overs and 8 to 10 overs, and Pakistan was completely demolished. But then everybody said, let's have a heart. It's a young team, and let's give them a chance. They will do even better. Then moving on to the second T20, again the story was not too different. Again, it was Pakistan batted first and they got 135. Though it was because of the rain, it was a short game of 15 overs game. Pakistan scored 135. And New Zealand again chased down 137. So you can say it was a bit better performance, but again, it was a disappointing. Then moving on to the third T20 international, let's move the rest to the series very quickly. Third T20 international. Oh, wow. That was a bang. 204 New Zealand scored it. Everybody thought that the series is over, game is over. It's impossible that Pakistan made it. But thanks to Pakistan, they chased down 207 with the loss of just one wicket in the 16 overs. And at that time, everybody was celebrating that Pakistan cricket is back, and now we have to rely on the youngsters, and youngsters are so good. But I think that was also that all happiness and all glory was very short lived. Then moving on to the fourth T20, then again Pakistan was back to the normal business of that losing. What's the journey of losing just goes on and on. New Zealand were bold. New Zealand scored 220 in the allotted 20 overs, and Pakistan bundled out again for 105. So another humiliating 115 run loss in the fourth T20. Then moving on to the fifth T20, now everybody expecting that Pakistan may make a comeback, but again it was, even the situation was turning from bad to worst. That New Zealand, Pakistan were again got in 20 overs, they scored 128 for 9, and then New Zealand really overpowered and almost demolished Pakistan, and they scored and chased that target almost again in the half over, the 10 over, just for the loss of 2 wickets. So after the T20 Test series, everybody was criticizing Pakistan, rightly so. Well, the other people have opinion. The second school of thought was, it's a young team, give them the chance at least for 15, 20 matches. And then let's see, even Haris Rauf, one of the premier fast bowlers, in his press conference said that these are young team, give them a chance for 15, 20 games, and then we will see what the results come. But overall, Pakistan cricket, I think they are in a very disappointing situation. At the same time, very double-minded, don't know. Let's introduce a youngster. Don't go introduce a youngster. Let's stick with experienced players. Somebody believe, no, teacher, we lost the champion trophy because of those experienced players. Let's get rid of them. Use the bring in the youngsters and let's do the experiment with them. But with all these lot of question marks, Pakistan and the T20 series, and then we move on to ODI series. Now, very briefly, let me tell you, in the ODI series, now all the senior players they were back. To be honest, to talk about the two main players, they were the Rizwan and the Babar Azam. They were the two main players. They were back. Even Naseem Shah in the bowling, he also joined it. So now this time seems to be a much balanced side. At the same time, New Zealand also resting some of their senior players as well because of the commitments of the PSL of the IPL. They are busy there. But now everybody is thinking that things will change. Okay, let very quickly take you to that first ODI. New Zealand batted first and they scored 344 for 9 in the allotted 50 overs. Pakistan at one stage, it looked like that Pakistan will do something extraordinary. Almost around 37, 38 overs, they were 249 for the loss of 3 wickets. And everybody was thinking that Pakistan in with a massive chance. And who knows, like the third T20, Pakistan will come out with something extraordinary. But just because at the wrong time, Babar Azam, he fails, and then with this, the 2 wickets going in no time, and then Pakistan again, they were bundled out for 271, and the New Zealand winning that game by 73 runs. And then, before we talk about give our final wording on this series, let's have a quick view on the second ODI that was played between Pakistan and New Zealand today. There was again another disappointing story. Now, this is I really feel very sad for the Pakistani fans because the match started around 3 a.m. in the morning. People waking and watching that match, and it again turned out to be a disaster. In this match, Pakistan again won the toss. Rizwan was lucky, and the conditions were extremely favorable for the bowlers. They put New Zealand into bat. I think first 6 to 7 overs were absolutely Pakistani bowlers were horrible in those 6, 7 overs, and New Zealand taking full advantage, just scoring almost with a run rate of an 8 an over. Then they lost their first wicket in 7 overs. Then Pakistani bowlers making a comeback almost around 100 to 150. They got the 4 to 5 wickets of New Zealand. Almost half team was back. But then again, I think this is again, we can say, the weak point of the Pakistani bowling. They haven't got that lethal. They can't be able to, after getting the 5 wickets in the 20 to 25 over, almost 28 overs, they got the 5 wickets and or under 150, and still an opposition going to make 293. I think this is a serious question mark on the Pakistani bowling lineup. Then when Pakistan was asked to chase down 294, again, I think then the performance continued to go from bad to worst. A real disaster was waiting for Pakistan. The Pakistan at one stage they were almost 35 for 5, around 30 to 40 runs, and the half side was back in the pavilion, was looking at this may be the worst ever defeat in the history of the ODIs. But thanks to Naseem Shah, the tail ender, and Fahim Ashraf, they make some contribution. First half century in ODIs for Naseem Shah, and then around 70 plus from Fahim, and then Pakistan eventually getting some respectability. They move on to 208, but still, it's a horrible loss by 84 runs for Pakistan. So this was actually the story of the entire tour. So let's have been what is our main achievement or what we got, what are the lessons we learned from the series, what are the achievements, what you can say. I think it's T20 series, apart from the third T20, rest all four matches were extremely one-sided, and I don't think so there was anything positive. Yeah, third T20 that makes the headlines, and everyone in the world was talking about that Pakistan, known for their that they can do anything on any day. You don't know which Pakistan is coming, so they can be a very very dangerous side. So they proved in 30-20. But apart from that, it has been a one-sided series. New Zealand dominating, and I think it may be a decision, maybe a wrong decision on the part of Pakistan Cricket Board as well. New Zealand, we all know, is difficult for the foreign team. Any team coming to New Zealand, Australia. So it's a difficult tour, and especially the New Zealand, they are very strong in their own home grounds, in their home situations, and they proved it once again. They were too good for Pakistan, almost making a one-sided T20 series. But we have a lot of expectation when the senior player Naseem Shah and Babar Azam and Rizwan, they were back in the ODI squad. But again, I think they let them down. Even the first ODI and today in the second ODI. Now third ODI, you can expect New Zealand even I think in today's game as well, New Zealand they were without their even the second string stream. Even it was not their second best side. Then key players like Chapman was injured, so I thought it was a real chance for today for Pakistan. But I don't know what will happen and where Pakistan will go in the third ODI. Because if you can't win an ODI from this team and in this such great situation Pakistan was, so, in all, I think extremely sorry state of affairs for Pakistan cricket and something to worry for the Pakistani cricket fans.
Thank you, Marisab, for this detailed discussion and deep analysis. And what do you say about the performance review of the batting, bowling, and fielding? If you can separate these
Well, I
three.
think fielding has been always a weak area, so no need to talk about the fielding. Pakistan need to improve a lot in this one. If you ask me about the bowling lineup, we have got experienced bowler like Shaheen Afridi in our T20 squad, but I think again we've given too many chances to Shaheen Afridi, and I think he's lost. He's also losing his effectiveness. He was not that much effective. If he would have been effective in even in the T20 international, I think if Pakistan score 120 and 30, New Zealand just chased down in the 10 overs, almost in the half of the innings. And when they bat first, they're scoring almost above 200 runs. So serious question marks on the Pakistani bowler as well. So something to worry about there. If we talk about the ODI side, again in the first ODI you're given 344. In the second one, when you are got almost half the opposition, even the first ODI we see the three or four key batters, even they were 50 for 3 in the first ODI. New Zealand was struggling, but Pakistanis can't really hold that pressure, and they were even without their fifth main bowler, and then the spinners were there to make up as a fifth bowler, and then they were taken to the cleaners. But even today's game, Pakistan going with a full strength squad with the five bowlers. But even then, I think Pakistan should have bowled out New Zealand for something around 200, and then they would have got a very fair enough chance to win this game. But New Zealand, even at one stage, they were almost in 28 over. They lost the 5 wickets, were less than 120 or 130, something like that. But then they go on all the way to make 293. Serious question marks on the Pakistani, I think, bowling lineup, their effectiveness. And I think I just want to add one thing. Even in the Rizwan, I think maybe something has gone wrong. We saw him. Even we lost the T20 national match in Pakistan, but he seems to be more interactive captain because you all know that in the cricket, the captain has to play a big role because he's the man who's in charge in the middle and making the troops to fight in the middle. But I think his body language was very disappointing. And I thought that Rizwan was not that much effective, was not that much proactive. So Pakistan may have to look forward to that side as well. And I think time is also running out for Rizwan. He has to improve his performance. And I think the third ODI, which is coming just in 2 days' time, on Saturday now, the 5th of this April, the third ODI coming up. Let me tell you, the series gone. This all the people may consider it a dead rubber for Pakistan, and New Zealand may try some youngsters. But to be honest, the third ODI will be very, very important, especially for the senior players for Pakistan, like Babar Azam and Rizwan, especially the questions will be asked on the Rizwan's leadership. So I hope so. Rizwan will be very much aware of that and he will try to bounce back because the pressure is building and the time is running out for the senior players and especially for the skipper, Rizwan.
Thank you, Balsab. And one question, for example, regarding the captaincy and the leadership, what do you think about the decision making under pressure?
Yeah, I think as I mentioned, was clearly the body language of Rizwan was not very much there because in cricket, when you're out there in the middle, the captain has to play a big role. Unlike football, hockey, maybe captain hasn't that much say when the team is out in the middle. But in the cricket, the captain has to be very proactive, very aggressive, and has to come something out of box. He has to come with some decision that surprised the opposition. But nothing was there. Rizwan wasn't that much even today. Otherwise, really, he's a very noisy man from behind the wicket, noising, cheering the bowlers, and really keeping the fielders all on their toes. But it was a disappointing body language from Rizwan today. And definitely, he's not scoring the runs and he's feeling the heat because just scoring 5 runs almost from 27 balls. This means he scored just 5 runs from the 5 overs and you're chasing 293. Entire pressure was on the Pakistan team. And I think situation is turning from bad to worse for Rizwan. So I think so. Pakistan has just taken a decision not too long ago. They have taken the captaincy of T20 cricket back from Rizwan and given to Salman Ali Agha. And I really feel that maybe its time is up for Rizwan as far as his one-day captaincy is concerned as well.
Thank you, Balsab. And Balsab, which player do you think surprised you the most during this tour?
Yeah, if you consider the any player, because Pakistan have really experienced with lot of youngsters. If you talk about Hassan, especially the T20 national, what a blinder innings he played in the third T20 for Pakistan, scored a century and he was all over the place. And we saw even after that game, the media reached to his back to his ground. They were taking interview with the father, mother, and everyone were discussing. Even in the Indian media, I thought everybody were discussing Hassan and saying what a talent he is and what an extraordinary player he was. He was making the headline. So for sure, Hassan, who got the two ducks in the first two T20 internationals, then third coming up with 100, and then even the fourth, fifth, even scoring a duck in the next T20 international and then scoring a very less run. So he was the one player to look after, but again, he's let us down even before his century and even after his century. But maybe he will be the one find and as far as the one day series is concerned, I think it's very difficult that you can just name out any bowler. But I think if I have to pick one fast bowler, I think maybe you can say Akif Javed was a bowler in the fast bowler. Haris Rauf gave a good performance. Though Haris Rauf, I think he's an experienced player. Akif Javed, you can see a youngster which we're looking for. Even the Seam Shah performance not up to the mark. And if you talk about the youngsters, I think it's Akif Javed, whom you can name it. Maybe Pakistan have got the answer of their fast bowler because Shaheen Shah Afridi, Naseem Shah, and Haris Rauf. This was the three combination that Trika Pakistan were looking for, and then finally decided let's bring in some new fast bowlers. So maybe he may be the solution, Akif. But apart from Akif Javed, I think, is a serious struggle for Pakistan, and nobody knows what the future lies ahead of Pakistan. But one thing is for sure, I think the next year or so, or next 6 to 8 months, even before the T20 World Cup, even in the T20 World Cup, and after the T20 World Cup, I think struggle will continue because we know the next T20 World Cup coming up because all the teams they are actually preparing for the next T20 World Cup that is coming up in the February 2026 in India. So maybe the conditions similar to Pakistan, but I have very serious question marks on the Pakistan performance. Pakistan really need to pull their socks up, and they need to pull their socks up in a very short time because before the T20 World Cup, we have got 8 to 10 T20 matches more, maybe 12. But the next month we have got coming up, that is the PSL coming up now, starting from the 11th April. So one has to keep a very close eye on the PSL that anybody who perform well and can come in the side can make it. But all these players who are playing in the 5 T20 nationals, we are missing one big name, Shadab Khan, who really performed well in the PSL. But once they come to the T20 international, it's altogether a different ball story. Because when you're playing a international game, so much high pressure is there. And I think the pressure of a international game is definitely an international game. So that's a altogether different story. But one can expect next PSL if we can find some good youngsters. Maybe they may be the solution for T20 World Cup. But right now, where the situation stands, I think a difficult times ahead for Pakistan cricket.
Yes, and one thing, Malsab, what do you think about the current team balance? Whether it is ideal for overseas tours, and also what are the top players you definitely back for future tours?
Yeah, I think you talk about balance. This was a big question going on here before the Champions Trophy. You got to make sure that in your in your team you cannot afford to have the five batsmen and the five bowlers and then a one wicket keeper. You have to fumble. Every team in today's modern cricket, every team tries that you have at least 7 to 8 batters. The example is India. India always bat deep. They got 7 to 8 batters. Why 7 to 8 batters? Because they've got some genuine all-rounders. This is some serious question on the Pakistan side. They haven't got a genuine all-rounder who can bat as well, who can bowl as well, and depth can come up in the last 5, 7 overs, 10 overs, can smash the ball around. I think we got a one slight solution today, Fahim Ashraf, that he scored 70 to 80 runs and his bowling was also not that bad. I think he may be the solution, but as for the long term plan is concerned, I would still want some youngsters to come. And I think this is where Pakistan are struggling. Always they want anybody to come and make up for the fifth bowler because you cannot afford to go with the five bowlers. You have to just strengthen your batting as well. So normally the tendency of the teams is they go with the four bowlers and then they try to make up with the fifth bowler with the all rounders. So this is also a tricky situation for Pakistan. The Pakistan badly in need of somebody like in the past Abdul Razak and Azhar Mahmood. They have done those services, so they're badly in need of a fifth all rounder, the fifth to make up for the fifth bowler. So we need a genuine all rounder, which India may be lucky they got players like Jadeja, they make up them with a spin bowler. So and Pandya can be a genuine their medium pacer. He can make up for the fifth bowler. We know they're all the hard hitters. They can score some quick runs at the end of the innings as well. So Pakistan definitely in need of a genuine all rounder who can really be a hard hitter at the end of the innings. Can be very useful. So I think that's a challenge for Pakistan Cricket Board. The bottom line is, and I think this is not a hidden secret anymore, but they know Pakistan, they are looking for all-rounder, not getting an all-rounder for last 1 year or more than a year, almost for a couple of years. In fact, even we go beyond than that, Pakistan searching for an all-rounder, that is really hurting Pakistan. So sooner they get, better it will be for the Pakistan team.
Thank you, Malsab. You already presented a well-rounded analysis of this Pakistani tour to New Zealand. Are your final thoughts? Just to have a final thoughts briefly, and then we'll conclude this session, please.
I think finally, final thoughts, and this will be that time is running out for Pakistan. At the same time, this can't happen that they can throw all the experienced players out and bring all the youngsters. So this may not work for them as well. But just stick with the old players. They're losing the tournament after the tournament, and this can also not happen that you can stick with the old players and let them lose and at the same time you throw them out, bring the youngsters. I think result will not change. I think now the time has come that Pakistani nation they should be ready to accept these defeats, and it will take time for Pakistan. I think Pakistan cricket team administration and the fans of Pakistan cricket need to be patient. They need to be understand. They need to understand that it will take time. And I think Haris Rauf was mentioning very right in one of his press conference that give these youngsters for at least 15 to 20 matches. But I doubt 15, 20 matches will be enough. I think they need even more time. So then the situation will going to be improved for them. So Pakistan, the future is be patient, give the chance to the youngsters, but at the same time, responsibility lies on the youngsters as well to come up to the expectations.
Thank you, Melissa, for combining your passion with perspective. And I look forward, and definitely our fans, cricket fans, definitely look forward to more session like this because cricket never stops, and neither should the conversation. Thank you very much.